The following segment follows the lives led by the deceased crew of the Mary Jane. What you hear are the audio files recovered from the crew's memory drives. As customary warning, there is swearing, violence, and discussion of dubious themes. If you experience any sort of discomfort during your time with us, turn off the entries, and when you're ready, begin again. This entry will begin playing now.
Log date 828. Log 10410-2. I believe it has been quite a while since I have last recorded a log, but Robert has inspired me to begin again with all of her recordings. The therapeutical benefits of expressing one's emotions through the action of journaling and documenting has shown to be incredibly helpful. On top of that, being the crew's therapist is challenging, to say the least. We aren't humans, but we have sentience and emotions. We aren't built for one specific purpose, but with dreams and goals. Dealing with these heavy and intense feelings have caused some of the crew to lash out. The overall goal from these recordings is to listen back and analyze. Hopefully we will find where this went wrong.
Is this really necessary?
I do believe it is, Robert. Talking out our feelings and having crucial conversations in group form has shown to improve managing emotions and controlling impulses.
I was talking about the empty chair.
That's Maggie's chair.
Well, it's not like... You do realize Maggie can't physically sit, right? And she didn't have to lug it down here.
I feel it's important we're all represented here in this circle, Robert. Now, to the main point. I want to first start this off by saying here in this circle, it's a safe space. When we are here, we are going to be relaxed. We are going to talk in a respectful and mature manner. Are we all in agreement?
I am. I'm not so sure that everyone here can abide by those rules, though, Colin.
Well, would you look at that? I feel the same way. Tiff is an older model of robot, so very out of control. She clearly acts on her impulses at the most inappropriate of times. And on top of that...
I was talking about you, you friggin' rust bucket!
See what I mean? Completely unsuitable for...
How dare you!
You two are the reason that we have to do this.
Enough with the bickering, please. This is ridiculous.
Please, you two, that's enough.
Fine. I can act like a mature adult as long as Tiff can also behave and not lash out every time I breathe.
Robert, Tiff, I think we'll need to discuss these issues in a more constructive manner, so that brings me to the first exercise I'd like to implement. I call it the honesty pipe.
The what?
This is going to represent the importance of our conversations. When someone is holding the honesty pipe, they are not to be interrupted, they are to be allowed to speak freely, they are to be respected. Most importantly, they are not to be made fun of in any way. Does everyone understand?
We clearly.
Yes, Colin.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but how the hell is Maggie supposed to hold it?
We are going to place it on her seat in representation of her holding it.
Ah.
Great, we'll start clockwise. Tiff, here you are. Please go first.
Thank you, Colin. Well, honestly, I just feel that...
And that's enough of that, thank you.
Hey!
Robert, we literally just went over the rules.
Yes, but clearly we're done here, and Tiff has nothing important to contribute to this or any other conversation, so...
You didn't even let me talk. Colin said that when you have the honesty pipe, you're to be respected. Damn it, Robert, at least respect me when I'm holding the friggin' pipe if you can't respect me as your captain.
Actually, this is great. Let's continue this topic. Robert, let's calmly explain why you feel the need to.
See, the difficult part of this is that you haven't done anything to earn my respect. And you're not holding the pipe currently, are you?
Oh, so I'm expected to let you walk all over me? No way in hell that's ever gonna happen, prototype!
Okay, why don't we all just calm down, take a minute to breathe,
Oh,
and...
I don't know, Tiff. It's pretty easy to walk all over you, considering you're bite-sized and all.
You are absolutely the most obnoxious ass that I've ever had the misfortune of dealing with!
Oh, come on. You can do better than that. You have got far better insults in your arsenal than that.
Oh, this is ridiculous. You need to stop arguing or we are going to be here all damn day. I have things to do.
Oh, yes, because you're so important.
Everyone, please.
Am I not? Am I not responsible for making sure that we are all living in a sustainable environment? Am I not the onboard medic? Am I not watching baby? Am I not...
Oh, all right. Can it? We get the point.
Do you have to be such a dick to literally every single one of us?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think...
Why should we care what you think? You took the honesty pipe from me, so why should we listen to you when you have it?
Give the damn pipe to me. I have a lot of honesty I would like to break over your goddamn head.
Enough! Well, sorry for the outburst. That was very unprofessional of me. But truly, we need to sort out these conflicts. We can't continue to act in this manner. We are a team.
The only damn way this would ever end, Colin, is by resetting Tiff's internal memory.
Robert, I will fight you!
We aren't resetting anyone's memory, and no one is fighting.
Well, then I'm sorry, dear, but this just isn't going to work.
Are you serious? You can't talk about anything without it going your way?
My way is the best way, and since we're not doing it, then neither am I.
Oh, is it my turn?
I'm sorry, Colin, but I can't do this right now. Goddamn stuck-up son of friggin' prototype bitch tit.
I do actually have something to share.
Of course, Maggie. What is it?
Colin, I just really love the Mary Jane. I mean it. I truly do. We have such an amazing opportunity to be part of this deep space encounter.
So, I believe it goes without saying that this particular group therapy did not go so well. I decided that individual therapy would be the best action from that point, at least until we could come to common ground enough for Tiff and Robert to be in the same room without trying to take each other apart piece by piece. So, my first session was with Sign, a regular patient. So, Sign, how have you been?
Good? I admit I don't understand the point of this therapy, Colin. You know how I am. You've seen me every day for the last 7 years.
I know that I've seen you, physically, but that doesn't always convey your emotional well-being to us.
Well, I suppose I am doing fine either way.
I feel like you're always holding back, Sign. That there's just something more you'd like to say.
I do not.
Alright. How do you like our newest companion?
Oh, she is cute, and an excellent addition to the Mary Jane. I will be sad when we find her home.
Oh? So you will miss her?
Yes. Why would you think I wouldn't?
Well, isn't she interrupting your work, your studies?
No, actually, she's very quiet when I'm working. But won't you miss her?
I probably will, Sign, but we're talking about you here, not me. Do you think you're going to have a hard time letting her go when we do find her origin?
No, I do not. We have always known that this was going to be temporary, so I ensured that I was going to keep my distance.
So, you think it's better to stay distant than to become attached and have to deal with the pain of parting?
Does it matter?
If it hurts you, then yes.
It does not hurt me, Colin. We are robots. Not many things hurt us.
That's not what I meant, Sign. You know that.
Yes, Colin. I would like to avoid the pain as much as I can. I think that after everything we've been through, I deserve at least that, don't I?
Yes, absolutely. But don't you think you'll feel better once you are able to communicate your feelings?
No.
Okay. Well, for now, let's put a pin in this. Why don't we talk about a different topic? Do you still have that green?
No, it's gone.
Oh, I'm surprised. Was it from the last time we talked, or...?
Yes, Colin, sure. It's gone, and I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Sign, I'm afraid that this doesn't sound terribly healthy. Do you think that maybe...
No, Colin. Now, I believe that we are done here. I need to go and look at my samples.
Don't you think that we should... I need to get an automatic door.
Next, I talked to Maggie. I was hopeful that this would be more fruitful than Sign's meeting. Maggie has certainly always been a little more direct than Sign, but I couldn't anticipate what would come about during this conversation.
Maggie, are you free for our appointment?
Yes, Colin, I'm here.
How are you doing today?
I'm well, Colin. Yourself?
Well, thank you. Now then, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Anything bothering you lately?
Not really. I feel very stable.
Emotionally?
Of course. I cannot truly be any other way.
What do you mean by that?
I cannot feel physical pain. I do not have the means to do so.
Yes, I know, Maggie. But don't you think that your current state is better? To exist in this way?
I disagree. It is not.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
I would think that would be obvious. I can't experience over half the things you can, Colin. And it feels as though sometimes the four of you take that for granted.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Never have I ever stepped foot on a planet. Not once. Not ever before, and most likely, never in my life. I have never been able to hug someone. I can never and will never experience this, Colin. Robert wants to give Tiff and I a hard time, but it's not as simple as talking it out or getting it on. I'll never ever have the possibilities. It's not fair.
I wasn't aware you felt this way, Maggie.
No, you weren't, were you? And you couldn't possibly understand. You were built with a body. You were completed. How am I supposed to just accept this half-life?
Is it a half-life, though, Maggie? Well, truly, you are not inhabiting a vessel, but that being said, why does that imply less of life?
Colin, I cannot possibly begin to fathom how hard this is for you to understand.
Maggie, I'm simply trying to...
Why don't you go and hug Robert? Or just touch her on the shoulder. Tell me how that feels, because I'll never possibly understand how that can feel. And then maybe, in that moment, we can see eye to eye.
Maggie, I'm not trying to hurt you. I simply...
Maggie has disconnected from this room, Colin. I'm sorry.
Oh. That's all right, Krista. Thank you. Is she upset?
I think that it'd be best to give her alone time.
Yes. That's probably the best decision for now.
Again, I'm afraid, my attempts to communicate with members of the crew have been unsuccessful. Next was meeting with Tiff. With her demeanor, I had assumed that this would be an easy assessment.
Good afternoon, Tiff. How are you doing?
What does it matter to you? Why did you even call me in here, Colin?
We have a meeting, Tiff. I want to talk about some agitated feelings, if you have any.
Oh, so this meeting will cause me to not talk to anyone I care about for hours on end?
I'm assuming you're talking about Maggie.
Oh no, I would never be talking about the inability to communicate with my co-pilot for an excruciatingly long amount of time. Who needs ship updates? Who needs to know what coordinates we're at? Not me, not the captain!
Why don't we sit down for a moment and talk about this?
I think I'm fine standing here!
Alright. Why do you think Maggie isn't talking to you?
Well, let's see. Sign immediately locked himself in his office after seeing you, and Maggie hasn't made any indication she's been around for hours. I thought she went offline. It wasn't until she snapped at me to stop fiddling with the controls did I even realize she was still active. So honestly, Colin, I think it has something to do with you.
Well, Tiff, that's a fair assessment. However, as you may remember from our last therapy session, sometimes very personal topics come up and many of us do not want to confront or deal with these intense feelings.
So, your goal here is to agitate all of us into ignoring each other?
My goal here is for all of us to be able to openly communicate our issues. Many times it feels as though we are trapped here on the Mary Jane. And in order to cooperate with each other, it's best to have an outside opinion on our conflicts to work them out.
Wait. You mean to tell me that you think you're an outside opinion? That's ridiculous!
What makes you say that?
It is almost a guarantee that no matter the situation, you're going to take Robert's side. 9 times out of 10, no matter what we're talking about, even if she's completely out of line.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I had hoped I was unbiased in my picking a side and trying to stay on the sidelines.
Well, you've done a friggin' great job!
Tiff, why do you feel the need to win or be right when you argue with Robert?
Because she's wrong!
We aren't talking about a specific time here, though. So do you believe that no matter the situation, she's wrong?
Yes! That junk heap of a prototype thinks she's so special. I don't see her piloting the ship. I don't see her actually caring about this mission. And then she has the nerve to criticize everything I do!
That must be incredibly frustrating. Why do you think she acts in this way?
I don't know. Things weren't like this year 1. And now she's unbearable!
Have you tried to have a conversation with her? If you speak in the format of, when you do this, I feel this.
Colin, have you ever spoken to Robert?
Point taken. However, I don't think it would hurt to try, do you?
As a matter of fact, Colin, I do think it would hurt. Fairly detrimental, actually. Robert isn't afraid to hit you where it hurts. You should know that, of all people.
Have you ever tried talking to her?
Colin, this crazy arguing didn't start overnight. She won't talk about issues, and stars forbid I want to talk to her about... before... You know what? It doesn't matter. Robert and I will never be what we used to be, and that's just how it is.
I find it intriguing that you talk in terms of permanence. Do you think this lack of flexibility is on both sides?
Don't you see? Even now you're taking her side.
Tiff, I am not taking her side. I am not excusing any of her actions. I'm merely trying to help you see the possibilities from the overall scenario.
All right, Colin. I get it. Thanks for meeting with me. I'm done here.
Tiff, please. I really think we need to talk about this.
I'll see you later, Colin.
Tiff, please.
As you can see, my attempts at getting Tiff or the others to open up is bordering on impossible. At least, for now. I'm hopeful that in future meetings with everyone, we will be able to revisit these topics. My last meeting for the day was with... Robert.
So, here we are again.
Yes, here we are. I'd like to talk about a few concerns, if you don't mind.
I thought you were the therapist here, Colin. Don't you dictate what we talk about?
And in that moment, something had changed. I'm not sure if it was the look in her eyes or that twitch in the corner of her lips. But it was change, and it was up to me whether or not I wanted it in my favor.
You know I am, Robert. Why don't we just begin with how you're feeling lately?
Oh, you know. Trapped for eternity in this godforsaken ship with nothing but the dark, empty void surrounding us. I felt just peachy.
And then she stood up from her chair, limber and graceful, just as she always moves. Just as she always is.
Yes, of course, Robert. But how about our new companion? Also, I've felt that lately, emotions have been rising among you and Tiff. Maybe we should talk about that.
Yes. Maybe we should.
She was so close to me. It seemed so sudden that she was there. I stood up from my seat to greet her, rise to the challenge perhaps, but at the same time, I knew where this was going.
Yes, let's elaborate on this. How do you feel about Baby?
She's very cute. Funny. It's interesting to watch her grow and change and learn. Certainly allowing us to have some sort of change on board the Mary Jane. Freeing us from the cycle.
She reached over to touch me. I don't know where. I moved my own hand to reach her, but she took my wrist. Her grip was unyielding, but not harsh, not gentle, quite firm.
Robert?
We were so close to each other. I could truly feel her.
Yes, Colin?
It was almost as though we were in a trance. Her eyes, the ever-glowing green, the way she held my wrist made me feel like we were dancing. But we were always dancing. Around the point, around each other. I was afraid that we wouldn't dance around this.
What are you doing?
Thought that was awkward. I'm getting the most out of my therapy session.
And there she was. She was blinding, yet so difficult to look away from. Never quite able to capture, yet unable to escape it.
Robert, we need to talk about...
Are you fucking serious? Right now. Right now! We need to talk about the alien? Or that rusty pipe head? Colin. Truly, you're a piece of work.
And just like that, she was gone. I blinked, and the moment was over. The trance broken. Her grip on my wrist now empty, and I stood at the window in my office, looking out over the galaxy we were passing through.
After reviewing my logs, I have reached a solid conclusion. I need a therapist.